Every time my wife and I played games late into the night, she would fall asleep instantly like a log. I always thought she just didn't love me. That was until I heard her inner voice. Why does it feel like hubby isn't very interested tonight? Oh no, hubby doesn't think I'm no good anymore, does he? Should I get up right now for another round? Is there any wine left? By the moonlight, I stared at the woman before me, eyes tightly shut and breathing smoothly. For a moment I thought I was hallucinating, but the voice in my ears kept chattering away. Hubby keeps staring at me. How am I supposed to sleep? My heart is beating so fast. My handsome, gentle hubby. I want to hold him so badly. But hubby likes cold, aloof women. I can't let him down. For love, I can change myself. I had to believe it. I was really hearing Su Wantang's inner thoughts. The contrast with her usual self was just too staggering. Was this really her? She had always been aloof and soft-spoken. To think these words were coming from her mind. Still a bit uncertain, I spoke tentatively. Su Wantang, go to sleep early. You have to get up for work tomorrow. Without even opening her eyes, Su Wantang just turned over, leaving me with a cold shoulder to continue sleeping. If this were the past, I would have thought she was just being completely indifferent. But now, I could somehow sense a desperate restraint beneath that cold demeanor because she was facing away from me. Her inner thoughts came in a wild torrent. Hubby's voice is so nice, so gentle, so considerate. Every time I hear his voice, I can't help but want to shower him with sweet talk and whisper sweet nothings in his ear again and again. But I can't. I must firmly resist acting like that. Cringy and flirtatious women are on hubby's blacklist. My life's motto, stay away from being cringy, so hubby will love me forever, and I can be a happy woman. Since when did I ever mention a blacklist? Where on earth did she get that misconception? At breakfast the next morning, Su Wantang acted just like any other day. After eating, she sat on the sofa watching the news, occasionally glancing up and down, checking her watch from time to time. So, she was waiting for me. My marriage to Su Wantang was a bit absurd, an impulsive decision made after a night of heavy drinking. She chose to marry me out of genuine affection, whereas I married her merely out of a sense of responsibility. To build our relationship after the wedding, I proposed a little routine. Every morning, I would personally tie her scarf before sending her off to work. I felt this little ritual would bring us closer. Su Wantang agreed, but every morning she would finish her breakfast very quickly, sit on the sofa, check her watch, and steal glances at me. I used to think she was waiting impatiently. Not until today, when I unexpectedly overheard her inner thoughts. Oh my God, hubby looks so cute when he just wakes up. He reaches a new level of adorableness every single day. She was thinking, being able to sit here every morning and secretly admire him eating breakfast, this feels so wonderful. So she didn't finish early to rush me, but to enjoy the moments of secretly watching me. She was silently counting down the minutes, looking forward to the moment I tied her scarf. Today, when my fried dough stick accidentally slipped into the soy milk, I suddenly realized everything. Su Wantang always kept the news playing on her iPad, but her mind wasn't on the news at all. She was counting down, waiting for the moment I would tie her scarf. I used to think I was the only one putting in effort, having to summon the courage to approach her every morning. But now that I knew her true feelings, my emotions became quite complicated. I wondered who taught her these ridiculous ideas on how to treat her husband. She didn't talk much normally, but she shouldn't have been this distant. She always bottled things up, making me mistake this marriage for an unrequited effort. I finished my breakfast, tidied up a bit, and walked through the living room. Su Wantang still sat on the sofa, appearing as calm as still water, but I could hear the raging waves in her mind. Why did hubby forget to tie my scarf today? This is our little ritual. How could he forget? She thought anxiously. Should I remind him? Would that make me seem too clingy? Would he think I'm completely useless because I can't even tie a scarf myself? Her inner monologue was frantic, yet she forced herself to look completely composed. Finally, just as I was about to walk out the door, she called out to me. I stopped, turned around and asked, "Is something wrong? I have to rush to work. Did you forget something?" Su Wantang's voice broke the quiet morning. Did I? I don't recall, I replied, feigning ignorance while knowing perfectly well what she meant. Seeing her calm expression, I felt a brief pang of sadness. She took out the scarf from the side and held it out to me. Did you forget the rule you set? She asked. Oh, that. I paused for a moment. Let's just cancel it. Su Wantang pursed her lips slightly. Her deep eyes locked onto me, seemingly unbothered, as if canceling the agreement meant absolutely nothing to her. That is, if I hadn't heard her inner self screaming at the top of her lungs. She was fiercely protesting inside. How can a promise just be changed? I don't want to, I absolutely refuse, but I know whatever hubby says must have a good reason. Hubby doesn't want to tie my scarf anymore. Has he lost interest in me? She told herself she had to be more obedient and not throw a tantrum, otherwise her husband would dislike her. The first rule of being a good wife is to listen to your husband. If hubby says it's canceled, I shouldn't fight it. She thought to herself, then spoke aloud, "As you wish," responding briefly and coldly. Yet from those few words, I detected an immense reluctance. I nodded, said goodbye, and turned to leave. But behind me, Su Wantong's mind was still rambling. I picked up my pace without looking back. I couldn't soften up. I had to let her experience exactly how I used to feel. That evening, we were on the same bed. She was working on her laptop while I quietly read a book beside her. Mindifying our own business, it truly looked like a picture of peaceful times. But I couldn't absorb a single word. Su Wantang's inner thoughts kept ringing in my ears, completely impossible to ignore. Let's see where he is in his book. One more page and we can probably go to sleep, right? As she kept rambling, she actually started singing in her head. Hubby, hubby, I love you. May Buddha bless you. Please look at me soon so we can go to sleep together. My mouth twitched. I slammed the book shut and looked at her. Su Wantang casually glanced back at me. What a great actress. In reality, she was looking forward to it so much, yet she never took the initiative. Fine, perfectly fine. I took a deep breath, forced a smile, and said, It's late, time for bed. Meeting her expectant gaze, I looked at her laptop the next second. You're not finished yet, right? Keep working, just don't stay up too late. Good night. With that, I lay right down, pulled up the blanket, and closed my eyes all in one smooth motion. Su Wantang was caught off guard. After a long silence, she finally murmured, Good night. With my eyes closed, her inner voice flared up, just as I had anticipated. Hubby, why didn't you give me that warm hug tonight? Without your embrace, how could I possibly sleep soundly? Today, you first skipped tying my scarf, didn't even give me a morning kiss, and now even our nightly ritual is omitted. Has your passion for me faded? If hubby's heart is no longer with me, what should I do? My life can't go on without you. I opened my eyes and happened to see Su Wantang's eyes turning a bit red. She didn't manage to look away in time, and her expression instantly became strained. What's wrong? I wanted to give her a chance to come clean. To be honest, I wasn't used to it either. Nights without our late-night chats felt strange. Usually, I was the one taking the initiative. Barring exceptions, we would talk properly every night. Su Wantang looked at me with red eyes, a clear struggle showing in her gaze. I looked at her with an encouraging and expectant expression, waiting for her to speak up, waiting for her to take the initiative just this once. Su Wantang's lips parted slightly, her eyes locking onto my face with a passion that made my heart race. The atmosphere grew warm. In the quiet room, something seemed to be stirring softly. Even after looking at her for nearly a year, every time I saw this breathtakingly beautiful face, my face would still flush and my heart would pound. I admit I had zero resistance to her looks. Shyly, I lowered my head, waiting for her next move. Finally, under my highly expectant gaze, she put her laptop aside. Suddenly, I felt a bit nervous. I looked up to meet her eyes again, only to see her raise a hand and cover her eyes. It's nothing. Just a little bug flew into my eye. I can't let hubby see me crying, or how am I supposed to keep my charm? I'm so clever. Using the bug in the eye excuse, hubby will definitely come over to blow it out for me, and then we can get up close and personal. I was truly left amused yet exasperated by her little trick. My expectation had seemingly turned into a joke. Wishful thinking, girl. Even at this point, you still want me to take the first step? No way. Firmly suppressing my thoughts, I turned around completely. Rub it yourself then. I'm tired, sleepy, and going to bed. The next day, Su Wantang looked rather exhausted, with dark circles under her eyes. She hadn't slept well all night, her mind tossing and turning. What else could I do? I just had to listen resignedly. Even though her inner voice gave me a headache all night, I endured it without stopping her. After all, she's my wife. If I don't pamper her, who will? Su Wantang quickly finished her breakfast and sat on the sofa. She was typing furiously on her phone, her brows tightly knit. I thought there was an emergency at her company, but then I heard her inner thoughts. Strategist, I need urgent backup. I followed your method before and successfully built an aloof goddess persona, and my husband really did love me. But recently he suddenly turned cold. Do you know what happened last night? My husband actually didn't want to get close to me. Is he tired of me? Does he not love me anymore? Help me, strategist. What should I do? Do I need to tap into a different kind of charm? Should I follow the tips for hidden feminine charm in the details from that book? Will that work? All right, I'll study it thoroughly today and test the results. Thank you. Tonight, I'll definitely go to your stream and gift you 100 digital TVs. So she learned all of this online. Su Wantang, you're a business elite who navigates the corporate world with ease. Yet when it comes to relationships, you're so clueless that you consult online relationship experts on how to attract your husband. Well, being eager to learn is a good thing, but executing it this poorly is truly worrisome. After getting advice from her strategist, Su Wantang was in a great mood and went to the restroom, leaving her phone behind. I tiptoed over. I was genuinely curious as to what kind of fellow could hook a corporate powerhouse like Su Wantang. However, I was stopped by her lock screen password, so I had to put the phone back. When Su Wantang returned from the restroom, I still hadn't given up. Her mind suddenly gasped. Is hubby trying to check my phone? Does he want to see if I'm cheating? I knew he still cared about me. Could his recent coldness be because he had doubts about me? Oh my God, I really deserve a slap. How could I make my husband feel insecure? Hubby, feel free to check. I am completely innocent, you can rest assured. I knew she was innocent. After all, I heard her crying and whining to herself all last night. To stop her from overthinking, I quickly added, I don't know where I misplaced my phone. Let me use yours to give it a call. Only then did Su Wantang realize she had misunderstood. So, her husband wasn't cold to her because of suspicion. Is he really just tired of me? Her heart tightened. It's my fault for failing to keep things fresh for hubby. But it's okay. I have the secret manual from the strategist. As long as I study hard, I will definitely win back hubby's heart. Wait, let me see who this strategist of yours is so I can pick up some tips too. I looked down at the phone and asked her for the password. Hearing no verbal response, I only heard a massive storm brewing in her mind again. Oh my heavens, you want my password? My password is Fang Yuan 5201314. I'm so clumsy. Why did my past self, blinded by love, set such a cheesy password? If I say it out loud now, hubby will definitely see right through my lovesick brain and stop loving me. But if I don't say it, he'll think I don't trust him enough to share my password, which will break his heart. Either way, my image in his mind is going to plummet. What do I do? What do I do? Well, what else could you do? Seeing how full of love your password is, let me help you out. I looked up slightly, pretending not to notice the panic in her eyes, and held the phone up to unlock it with her Face ID. Once it successfully unlocked, I turned slightly as if to avoid prying eyes, but quickly turned down the volume. Opening Douyin, I went straight to the direct messages page, and my eyes locked onto the user ID of the last message that said, "Thank you, strategist." QAQ Esports. My smile froze. I quickly tapped into the user's profile page. The content was mostly about esports gaming. The name matched, the content matched, and even the IP address matched. This was absolutely my younger brother Jibuduan's alternative account. Our parents had always wanted him to come back and inherit the family business with me, so they strongly opposed him being an esports streamer. I was the only one in the family who supported him. Because he refused to work at the family company, our parents cut off most of his financial support. He would occasionally ask me to transfer him some money, which is why only I knew about this account. I had never mentioned this to Su Wantang. As I silently digested this reality, I calmly picked up her phone and dialed my own number. Su Wantang waited patiently. Looking at her feigned composure, mixed emotions welled up inside me, leaving me wanting to sigh. It was one thing to look for a relationship mentor online, but she actually picked a completely unrelated esports streamer. And of all streamers, it had to be my own brother. Su Wantang, could you be any more ridiculous? Just how many surprises do you have that I don't know about? And as for you, Jibuduan, a guy single since birth, look what you've taught my wife. After watching Su Wantang leave for work, I immediately called Jibuduan. Jibuduan, since when did you change careers? What? Bro, what do you mean? I heard you've become a relationship mentor lately. I'm curious, didn't you tell me you were an esports streamer? Care to explain? Oh, that's just for show. Audiences nowadays want novelty and excitement. As a streamer, you need tricks. You can't stay the same. Just streaming games gets boring for the fans eventually, so I do relationship streams once in a while to create a contrast. And let me tell you, it works like a charm. My hardcore fans love it. By the way, bro, why the sudden interest? I sneered. A friend of mine recently consulted a relationship mentor online. I took a look and guess what? It was you. Who is it? I hesitated, as Su Wantang's username was a bit embarrassing to say out loud. The one named Hubby is the most handsome man in the world. Oh, her! I didn't expect her to be your friend! Ji Buduan burst out laughing on the other end. Strictly speaking, she's my only relationship consulting client. She watched my stream and thought I knew my stuff when it came to chasing men. You have no idea. Every time she consults me, she gifts 100 digital TVs in my stream. She practically made me financially independent so I don't have to rely on the family. Ji Buduan, how do you even have the nerve to give relationship advice? You can't put it that way. Even though I don't have much relationship experience. Stop. It's not much. It's absolutely none. Ji Buduan paused for a moment. Fine. I've never been in a relationship, but my friends have. Even if I haven't eaten pork, I've seen pigs run. Besides, I worked really hard to study for this. To live up to her gifts, I even wrote a relationship guide to show my professionalism. Bro, do you know how hard and seriously I worked on it? Hearing this, everything went dark before my eyes. I squeezed out 2 words from between my teeth. I know. How could I not? Isn't that book featured on your homepage? The one titled Hidden Feminine Charm in the Details? Yes, that's the one. Have you read it? I wrote it pretty well, right? A lot of the content was actually inspired by you. I fell silent. It did ring a bell. A while ago, Ji Buduan suddenly asked me what traits men usually find charming in women. At the time, I thought he finally had a crush, so I shared my thoughts without holding anything back. Who would have thought he'd put my words into his book? Doesn't that mean he's using my own words to teach my wife how to attract me? I have never been this speechless in my entire life. Well, let's see how it plays out tonight. During work, I unexpectedly received a call from Su Wantang. She was as brief and direct as ever. A friend opened a new restaurant. I'll pick you up after work today so we can try it together. I froze for a moment before snapping out of it and agreeing. Right then, I was staring at the PDF my brother sent me. Hidden Feminine Charm in the Details. The content, how should I put it? It was hard to describe, full of cheap tricks. But on second thought, if Su Wantang were to use these moves on me, I must admit, I'd actually love it. Just as I was fantasizing about Su Wantang putting on a show and showing off like a peacock in front of me, the phone rang again. Upon answering, I learned that because the client's itinerary had been shortened, the business dinner originally scheduled for the day after tomorrow had to be moved up to tonight. They asked if we could talk tonight or reschedule. Since this cooperation was vital to our company's future growth, I could only agree to the change. Once the call ended, I immediately dialed Su Wantang. Honey, I'm so sorry. Something urgent came up tonight, so I can't have dinner with you. You don't need to pick me up. There was a brief silence on the other end before Su Wantang's soft, pleasant voice came through. What time will it end? Hard to say. If all goes smoothly, probably around 9. I'll pick you up then. Instinctively, I replied. No need. I drove myself. But Su Wantang said, How can you drive if you're drinking? As a company owner herself, she naturally knew that business dinners involved alcohol. Isn't there a chauffeur? I have a dedicated chauffeur for drinking events. They usually handle the pickup and drop-off. Su Wantang went silent for a moment. I also have some things to handle and need to work overtime until 9. It's on my way to pick you up. This was the first time Su Wantang had been so insistent. It wasn't that she had never offered to pick me up before, but considering she had many social engagements of her own and was always busy, I usually declined gently, not wanting to trouble her since I had a chauffeur. She would usually just go along with my wish. This was the very first time she insisted on coming even after I turned her down. Something felt off. Suddenly realizing why, the corners of my mouth curled up involuntarily. All right then, come over. I'll wait for you. The cooperation talks went very smoothly, and the dinner ended before 9 o'clock. To secure the deal, I indeed drank quite a bit tonight. Just after sending off the client, the cool breeze outside cleared my head a little. The woman before me had fair skin, a gentle temperament, and was exceptionally beautiful. This was Lin Siwan, my childhood friend. She had a good relationship with the client's boss. The fact that this cooperation went so smoothly was largely thanks to her bridging the connection. She was also the daughter of a family friend. If I hadn't met Su Wantang, I might have married Lin Siwan by now. My parents had always been very pleased with Lin Siwan. Knowing her background inside out, they thought of a marriage alliance. Just as I was about to bring it up with the Lin family, out of nowhere, I fell for Su Wantang instead. My parents racked their brains but couldn't find a single reason to object, so their marriage alliance plan had to be abandoned. A blinding flash of headlights brought me back to my senses. Soon, a Rolls-Royce pulled up right next to us. It was Su Wantang's car. The moment it approached, I could feel her unyielding determination. Guard against everything, but it's hardest to guard against the ones close to you. I accidentally let Lin Siwan find a chance to be alone with my husband. She seems to have made considerable progress, while my husband is still giving me the cold shoulder. The situation is extremely unfavorable for me, but I must admit this is my own fault. It's because I'm not interesting enough to firmly hold on to my husband's heart. It looks like my husband and Lin Siwan are rekindling their old flame. I feel an unprecedented crisis. But then again, there had never been any romantic feelings between Lin Siwan and me. We didn't even get a chance to start before it was nipped in the bud. Now, our relationship was purely like brother and sister. Su Wantang stepped out of the car, looking aloof and walking toward me with steady strides. She appeared calm on the surface, but her mind was constantly reminding her. Stay calm. Stay calm. Don't be impulsive. Maintain your image. Husband likes emotionally stable women. I can't act overly emotional. A qualified wife must learn to control her emotions. Lin Yuan greeted her with a warm smile, then turned to me. Fang Yuan, President Su is so busy, yet she still made time to pick you up. Are you two showing off your affection? How is a single person like me supposed to cope? Lin Yuan was just joking casually, but to Su Wantang's ears, it carried a completely different meaning. Is Lin Ziwan hinting to my husband that she's still single and waiting for him to turn back? What is she thinking? My husband just met her once and had a meal. That doesn't mean anything. And she already thinks she has a shot? Oh, Lin Ziwan, you have no idea how many new tricks I've learned today. I'll definitely make my husband more satisfied with me and fall in love with me again. With me around, my husband will never have the mind to look at another woman. Lin Ziwan, you've really hit a brick wall this time. Su Wantang said to Lin Ziwan, Director Lin, if you settle down early, you won't have to envy others. Although her tone was as polite as usual, it carried a hint of hostility today. Clearly, Lin Ziwan felt it too, and looked a bit puzzled, wondering where Su Wantang's animosity was coming from. Before she could think further, her driver pulled up. The two said their goodbyes, and Su Wantang immediately pulled me into the car. As soon as we got in, she leaned right over without a word. My body froze, and the woman's face grew larger in my eyes. My pupils began to tremble slightly. Finally, that nearly perfect face was so close it almost touched me before she quickly backed away. Then, her low, magnetic voice aggressively entered my ears. Inside the narrow, quiet car, only the sound of my heartbeat remained. Right after that, the click of the seatbelt broke the silence. Su Wantang had fastened the seatbelt for me. By the time I regained my composure, she was already back in the driver's seat. The sun must have risen from the west. This person had never buckled my seatbelt for me before. But using my brain, it wasn't hard to guess what she was up to. I stole a glance at her from the corner of my eye. Her expression was completely flat. However, her inner voice completely gave her away. Charm rule number 1, casually touch him to make his heart skip a beat. Also, my sit-tight phrase was pitched just right with a raspy, husky tone. The book said a woman's voice is a huge plus. It feels like after this whole routine, hubby's expression has indeed softened quite a bit. So the book really is useful. Just as I suspected, her coming out so eagerly to pick me up tonight definitely had an ulterior motive. But was it absolutely necessary to do the seatbelt thing today? She couldn't wait to practice what she learned from the book. Su Wantang's mind was still chattering away. Looks like I have to pull out the big moves tonight. Originally, I thought I should take it step by step, as some moves are too aggressive. I wasn't sure if hubby would like them, so I wasn't in a rush to show them off. But now that the rival is flaunting right in front of my face, I can't care less about that anymore. What kind of big moves? Care to elaborate? I perked up my ears, only to hear her start sighing as she went on. Hubby still won't initiate a conversation with me. So cold. Is it true for men that when they stop loving, they just stop? I can't take another day of this. I want hubby to love me fiercely. I must melt the ice in his heart and rekindle his passion for me. The car sped toward the direction of our home. I indeed remained silent the entire way, keeping my head turned toward the window. It wasn't that I didn't want to talk. I just had to take deep breaths to barely suppress the rising corners of my mouth. I couldn't help it. The moment I thought of someone putting on a prim and proper act once we got home, I felt excited and full of anticipation. Any drowsiness from the alcohol completely vanished. Su Wantong was very considerate and offered to brew some hangover tea for me. She rolled up her sleeves and walked straight into the kitchen. Not long after, I heard a soft exclamation from the kitchen, followed by the sound of rushing water. I quickly got up to check on the situation. Stepping into the kitchen, I saw Su Wantong frantically trying to turn off the faucet. But something seemed wrong with the pipe joint. Water was spraying everywhere, drenching a large part of her clothes. Right then, Su Wantong's inner thoughts came through. Hubby definitely won't guess I broke the faucet on purpose. Does hubby like me like this? His eyes are totally on me now. I knew I still hold a charm over him. I quickly brought the hangover tea to my lips and took a sip. You should go take a shower quickly so you don't catch a cold. Back in bed, I opened my bedtime reading as usual. I started reading with a calm expression, as steady as an old dog. Beside me, Su Wantong was already growing impatient. Why hasn't hubby come over yet? Is my charm buff not fully stacked? My eyebrows raised slightly as I feigned ignorance, silently asking her with my eyes what she was doing. Her lips twitched slightly. To my surprise, Su Wantong leaned in and kissed me directly. Tonight, my life is complete. Tee-hee. I saw her pick up her phone to share her joy with Ji Buduan, praising how effective his methods were. She immediately opened Ji Buduan's live stream room and passionately gifted another 100 digital TVs. Watching the dazzling gift effects on the screen, I couldn't help but marvel internally. It seemed my brother was the biggest winner in this whole ordeal. To be honest, if Ji Buduan weren't my own brother, I would have snatched Su Wantong's phone out of her hands to apply for a refund right away. The sun must have risen from the west. This person had never buckled my seatbelt for me before. But using my brain, it wasn't hard to guess what she wanted. I contacted Ji Buduan again and asked him to screenshot his chat history with Su Wantong and send it to me. Ji Buduan asked from the depths of his soul, "Bro, why do you want my chat records with CEO Su? That's personal privacy." I chuckled. What if CEO Su is your sister-in-law? Ji Buduan was completely stunned. He froze for a long time, then he blurted out, "I suddenly have things to do, gotta go." A few minutes later, my phone vibrated continuously. Dozens of chat screenshots were sent to my phone. I picked the most representative one and saved it. I opened the image, placed the phone right in front of her, and said, "Care to explain this?" Playtime is playtime, but I've had my fun. I knew certain misunderstandings needed to be cleared up as soon as possible by laying everything out. Su Wantong originally looked completely calm, but when she clearly saw the contents of the screenshot on the screen, her face turned pale instantly. Looking at the screenshot, I began to read it out word for word. Mentor, my husband likes aloof goddesses. He hates cringy, sweet-talking women, but I am naturally a lovesick person who adores whispering sweet nothings. I'm terrified my husband will find me cringy. How should I interact with him daily? I like aloof goddesses and you are a lovesick brain? Explain it. What exactly is going on here? Where did you get this chat log? Su Wantong was still hoping for a fluke, wanting to claim the log was photoshopped as a final struggle. I said directly, QAQ Esports, Ji Buduan. He is my younger brother. Su Wantong's face turned even paler, almost green. She finally recognized reality, stopped pretending, and laid her cards on the table. She snuggled up beside me, grabbed my hand, and looked at me pitifully. Hubby, it's true that I have a lovesick brain. Please don't reject me, okay? Promise me you won't hate me and divorce me, I beg you. If you like aloof goddesses, I can keep acting. You saw how well I pulled it off before. Helpless, I asked, "Who on earth told you that I like aloof goddesses?" Su Wantong paused, then muttered softly, "It seems your brother said so." Su Wantong recalled that she heard it from Ji Buduan at a banquet. At that very party, she fell for me at first sight. Then she happened to overhear a few flirtatious socialites expressing interest in me and asking Ji Buduan about my preferences. Su Wantong was standing right next to them and heard him say, "My brother likes the kind of goddess who looks very aloof at first glance. Cringy women like you are on his blacklist, so forget it." And so she believed it, convinced that the woman I liked had to be very distant. So during that banquet, when I, who had also fallen for her at first sight, went over to strike up a conversation, she started putting on the act. Meanwhile, I misinterpreted her cold expression as a total lack of interest in me. Feeling a bit down, I figured if I couldn't date a beauty, being friends was fine too, so I invited her to drink with me. She never made an excuse to leave, and the glasses kept draining one after another until we both ended up drunk. I had always thought Su Wantong didn't like me, but it turned out she had been into me all along. I must say, Ji Buduan is truly my dear biological brother, first spreading rumors, then giving terrible advice, solely dedicated to blocking my path to love. Now that things were out in the open, I realized I could no longer hear Su Wantong's inner thoughts. I emphasized to her, "I don't actually care for aloof goddesses." Su Wantong looked up and asked, "Hubby, then what kind of woman do you like?" "It's not about what kind of woman I like. I like you, the real Su Wantong. So never hide your true self away. No matter how you are, I will love you just the same." Based on my new understanding of her over the past 2 days, I continued earnestly, "In the future, speak your mind directly. I'll always listen. Mouths are meant for speaking, not for decoration. Don't bottle things up and make yourself miserable." "I get it now. I'll listen to everything hubby says. But mouths aren't just for speaking, they're also for kissing. Can we have a kiss first? Can you think about something else for once?" I let out a wry, helpless smile, shaking my head at her silly, adorable face. I really didn't know what to do with her. The end.